Hello and welcome to this month's Story of the Song. I missed last month because I was up to my ears in other things. So this month I'm going to tell you about a song that I wrote, a song called The Ballad of Jago Trelawney. Now, normally when I write a song, it's quite usual for it to be based on personal experience, personal feelings, emotions, things that happen to me. Or I create a character and live in that character for some crazy adventures, such as the song Wildflowers or Talk About Glory. Maybe I'll do something on those songs at some point. But for this song, I was recording the album The Rock, the Sea, The Rising Tide in 2019 here in Brittany, the first album I recorded here in Brittany. And it had a maritime theme and a kind of dreamy, slightly psychedelic feel to it. And I wanted to create a character based on naval battles, that kind of thing. So I did a bit of research and I found something very interesting. I found a sea battle that took place between the English and the French in 1793, June the 18th, 1793. I've got my notes over there just to keep the facts correct. The English ship, the Nymphe, took on the French ship, Cleopatra. And a battle ensued, and many lives were lost. Many officers were killed, and many ratings were killed. The English won, but it was a very, very costly battle to both sides. And what I found out was that only a few weeks before the battle, 80 Cornish tin miners had been pressed into service, only a few weeks before the battle. So this, I'm looking at my notes because I looked up this on Wikipedia. And having read that information, I then thought, okay, so I'm going to create one of those Cornish tin miners, a young man, and I researched Cornish names common at that time and created the character Jago Trelawney. So there it is. That's the story of the song, The Ballad of Jago Trelawney, based on a historical fact. And the year 1793, which somehow has a poetry about it, I don't know why. And it's 7 years later, and I've found another use for 1793 because it rhymes with hanging tree. And I have a new song called Gypsy Joe, which will be on the Scardanelli and Sophie album later this year, and hopefully we'll be debuting the song live in a month or so. So 1793 that I discovered in 2019, the year of the battle between these two warships, will make another appearance in another of my songs. So it just goes to show that you never know what you might stumble across. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the Ballad of Jago Trelawney, based on a real historical battle. Thank you. Here lies the wreckage of the man they couldn't save, all split with tar and brine in his watery grave. Time now has worn him down and smoothed his roughest edge. Salt-bleached bony hands now grasp the greening threads. The rock, the sea, the rising tide, a harbor for the world will leave behind. Nymphe sailing eastward to Start Point, Rocky Crag, watchman aloft spies revolutionary flag. And here's Cleopatra heaving into view. Let loose our cannons, boys, we'll bid these French adieu. The rock, the sea, the rising tide, harbour for the world we'll leave behind. Jago Trelawney, not 20 summers tall, one of 80 Cornish tin men summoned to the port, sworn now to duty in the service of King George, and a share of prize and glory for every man aboard. The rock, the sea, the rising tide, a harbour for the world we'll leave behind. Spar twisted, tangled rig as round shot scorched its arc, close-quartered cannonade rips hulls and men apart. Though at last King George's men declaim the bloodied spoil, 'twas not before near equal loss, Republican and royal. And here lies Trelawney with lead shot in his eye, and from his hand the keepsake rose into the tide. We'll wrap him in the ensign, commit him to the sea. Was e'er a Cornish man to die in better company? The rock, the sea, the rising tide, a harbour for the world we'll leave behind. The rock, the sea, the rising tide, a harbour for the world we'll leave behind.